Good morning, dear beloveds. I am so delighted to be here with you this morning on what feels like a truly momentous day for me. And I was trying to sort of manage all my feelings around it and just celebrate here on my own, but I realized that that was not going to be enough for me today. I want to share with you something that has gone live just this morning that is just giving me all the feelings, and I want to tell you why. So a few months ago, I had the great privilege of being interviewed by Julie Parker, who you may know from the Beautiful You Academy, who is now on her spiritual path in a big way, and she has the Priestess podcast. And this podcast is a pretty big deal. I can give you a list of some of the women that she's interviewed, but there's sort of some of the most amazing spiritual leaders of our time. And I, of course, felt a great pull. I train women as contemporary priestess, and it felt like a really exciting thing to be able to be part of this. So a few months ago, Julie and I sat down and did an interview on intuition. And as the interview unfolded, I could kind of feel that Julie was having a response to what I was saying that was probably different to what she was expecting. And beautifully, she kind of articulates that as she's sharing in the intro to this interview. And I'll just read you a little bit. She said, "Hold on to your heart. Ricky Jane is a firecracker of the best sort, and is likely about to challenge everything you may know about what our intuition truly is." And I just feel like my brain is melting and my heart is bursting open because, of course, my mission. My mission is to mainstream the intuitive sciences. My mission is to lead the revolution in excellence in this stuff. My mission is to change the conversation about intuition. And without question, the Priestess podcast is to date the largest platform that I've ever been given, the largest audience, alongside women like Belinda Davidson and Rebecca Campbell and Layla Saeed and these other amazing spiritual leaders, to actually get to say to the biggest audience that I've probably ever been given what it is that intuition really is. And what it means to be intuitively intelligent, what happens when your spiritual fierceness gets turned on. And all of this, of course, if you hang out with me and you're a student of mine, you'll know is about meeting and releasing your subconscious fear, simply to be what you truly are. But I guess I'm feeling this sense of, oh my God, the ripple effect out into the world is beginning to happen, because this is an opportunity of to speak to a much greater audience than I have potentially had the opportunity to. And as we were going through the interview, Julie said a few times, you are talking about intuition in a way that nobody else is talking about. And she even had one of those great Oprah aha moments. And it was like, I know that what we're doing with the Institute, I know what the amazing women that I am training and getting to spend time with are doing is groundbreaking. But of course, when you kind of are in it on your own all of the time and exist in a vacuum, it can be really difficult to see that what we're doing is changing the conversation. We are leading the revolution beyond the trinkets and superstitions of the new age. And to have someone like Julie Parker, who is speaking to the leaders in the spiritual world at this time from all over the world, from all different places, say, you are talking about this in a way that nobody else is talking about, just kind of makes me feel a little bit full of love and joy right now. And I really wanted to share this moment with you because it's so much about the vision. So my vision is the 5,000 women trained as contemporary priestesses, as spiritual leaders, as intuition masters, not in the trinkets, not in the things that put fearful belief between us and God, that puts stuff between us and God, but in a way that is the priestess of higher consciousness, the priestess who is able to show simply by what she is, not by the tools and the trinkets and the phases of the moon and any of that human dream stuff, that our capacity to know ourselves as God always just comes back to our ability to meet and release the illusion, which is fear. And this message is now going out into the world, and every single woman who embodies this, who is able to take this into her, is contributing to that revolution, who is able to show others by demonstration, teaching is demonstrating that to make that choice for love rather than fear is all we need to do, and to do it every damn day. So I'm just so high vibing right now. I feel so excited. The interview is amazing. I thoroughly recommend you go and have a look for it. I'll share the links everywhere, of course. And please share it with your people, because this is so big. And I know that the women that are listening now, all of you gorgeous women, are not, we're not doing this on our own. It isn't about my success. It isn't about anything other than how do we move people from fear to love. And to begin to get this global attention is really a moment where I feel like, the ripple effect is getting big, and it will only grow from here. Don't you worry, I will not stop here. Every time someone gives me an opportunity to be heard, I will make sure that I leverage that and I take it further, so that all of us who are on this path of service to move people from fear to love, to meet their intuitive intelligence, to become spiritually fierce, beyond all the bullshit, the New Age ghetto, a term that I used in the interview, by the way, and Julie's like, what is that? Can you back that spiritual dump truck up and tell me what you mean by New Age ghetto? And of course I did. With great joy, I got to jump into that conversation with her. And, I feel like this interview was really... Sorry, I've got tears and a bit of snot and all sorts going on. This interview was a really amazing moment for me. It's only 30 minutes long. I had to be totally on message. There were heaps of things I didn't get to talk about. But the things that I did get to talk about, the really, really big message was that the only way to increase your intuition is to meet your fear, your subconscious fear. And that got to be heard, and that got to be heard by an audience who are listening to, the world leaders right now. And, I put my hand up. I am happy to take my place alongside these women, and I am happy to do this because this is the mission that God has assigned to me, and I am righteous in that mission, and I will not rest until I have done my part to move people out of the illusion. Because that's what we're here for. We're all here to awaken to the truth of what we are. And it's my favorite thing to do in the whole world. So there's no burden in that sense of responsibility. There's no sense that, oh my God, I have to do this. I'm like a missionary. I have to go and change people's minds. My job is the greatest blessing of my life. I have the best freaking job on the planet. And it just, moments like this, I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate this moment where in a way, the effort of trying to get my voice out and trying to get the message out has kind of been taken off me, and someone else has just come along and said, hey, I've got a really big platform. Let me share what you've got to say. And to know that what I was sharing with Julie was really, really altering her consciousness and her perception of her own intuition, even as we were talking, was so fun and so awesome. For someone to say they've got firecrackers going off in their brain and you're talking about this in a way no one else is talking about it, these things for me mean that we are talking the good talk, and we are saying things that are game changing. We are the revolutionaries. We are leading the revolution. We're not sitting at the back waiting in our spiritual closet. We are, as members of this institute, as the women that I train, as those of you who listen and show up, those of you who like this page, those of you who are in my group, those of you who watch the YouTube videos, all of you are part of that mission with me, and all of you are here allowing me to do what I do and to keep bringing more and more women into this vision. 5,000 of us. Amazingly, whilst I was on retreat in Bali recently, that vision that I had of sitting with the 5,000 priestesses who'd been trained, these priestesses of consciousness, for me, I was like, okay, well, that's a pretty amazing vision. I'm very excited that that's in my consciousness, but who knows how that's going to happen. Not one, not two, but like at least 3 women had that vision separately to even knowing about my vision, and they saw that vision in an identical or very similar way to the vision that I saw. So it actually is in a location that looks like it's in the Middle East. It's almost like we're at Mecca. There's this absolute enormity of this ocean of women, and we are all here to lead people out of the darkness and into the light, from fear to love, and that is, it's a shared vision. And I guess that's why this is so exciting to me, because by Julie, interviewing me and sharing that podcast with the world, it's yet another sister who's kind of part of that vision, who's taking the message out into the world. And I know that what we were sharing was congruent, and that she and I were in fierce agreement, because otherwise she wouldn't have shared the content. And that I hope that, we will continue to inspire women to look beyond the known of intuition, because as we were talking about, Julie's a very big fan of spiritual activism. And I realized that so much of what I do is about spiritual activism, not just having spirituality so that we get a nice little life, but so that we actually get to change the world for other people, and that we actually get to be in service in such a big way. And I think what Julie was talking about was that idea of this this work is the spiritual activism. It is about changing the conversation so that we aren't in the New Age ghetto, so that what was taken from women over the last 8,000 years of patriarchy, which is to malign our spiritual superpower, which is our intuitive intelligence, that day has come to an end now. We are now in the age where every woman who awakens to her spiritual power, to her divine feminine power, is contributing to the new world for all. And that is absolutely a vision that I share. I share it with Amy Lou, I share it with all of my priestess sisters, and it's so important that we see that, you know, patriarchy is not about men and women. It's just about a political system that for the last, you know, 8,000 years has been holding the world and our awakening in its grips, but no more. We are now at that place where as we awaken, we do that for and on behalf of others, both men and women. But the divine feminine power of intuition is a receptive divine feminine power. It is innately born within women, and therefore it is our responsibility to see that we are the spiritual powerhouses on the planet. And the more that we're able to own that truth, the less we will sit back in fear of that truth. So this is a big day for me, and I just really, really wanted to share it with you. And I'm so honored that so many of you have come to the party of this, the truth of what our intuition is. It is a symptom. It is simply a symptom of awakening to your God consciousness, your goddess consciousness, the truth that you are unlimited in every way. And intuition is just a symptom of that. Your intuitive intelligence is the combination of your innate intuition and your spiritual fierceness to make that choice for love, not little human love, but for divine love in every single moment of your life. And that takes all your fierceness and all your courage, but you are not alone, dear ones. We are all gathered together. So thank you for letting me share this moment with you. Please listen to the podcast. Please share it far and wide. Let's take this revolution as far as we can go. Please just let everyone in your groups know about it. I don't think there's anything that I've shared that you would disagree with. I think this is such an exciting moment where everything that we are doing as a collective is going to the world, and I want to keep those waves, those ripples spreading out. Mwah! Thank you for joining me. Have the most beautiful day.